and welcome back to my homestead. I'm so glad you're here on my channel today because I want to guys talk to you about blackcurrant. Earlier today I went and I picked some of the blackcurrant from my bush, and there's going to be a plenty more. There's still a lot of green berries, but I wanted to pick because we're expecting to get some rain tonight, and I know that every time we get heavy rain some of those berries fall to the ground and then that's it. So I wanted to pick some today. Blackcurrant, red currant are some of my favorite summer berries. Growing up, we had several bushes of them growing in the front of our house, and instead of having ornamental bushes, we had blackcurrant and red currant bushes. My family can attest to that. And we as kids would go and like sneak and start eating them. And gooseberry berries, oh, we just love them. In Russian, I think it's called kruzhevnik. But these are черная смородина, black currant, and they are jam-packed with vitamins. They are very, very good for us. So if we are gonna talk about boosting our immune system or having a tonic for our like detox and for energy, this is the guy. This is what we want to eat, okay? And what's good about blackcurrant berries is that even though they are very nutritious when they are eaten raw, but they're also just as good when they are frozen and defrosted, or when they are juiced, or even in a jam. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, I love my jams and I love cooking jams. Those are delicious, but I also like to make my raw jams where I don't cook a berry at all. I just mix it with a lot of sugar, and I have received comments like, oh my gosh, Mama Lil, that's way too much sugar for that raw jam. I agree with you. It's too much sugar in those recipes. I'm gonna put up a link to that so you guys can view it and see what I'm talking about, where I mix berry with sugar, lots of sugar. And the reason why it has so much sugar is because that sugar is the preservative for the berry, because that jam does not get processed like the other jams, and there will be a shelf-stable jam for several months being stored in a cool place. If you like, you can store it in the fridge, put it in a jar, put it in the fridge, and then when somebody needs a little bit of those extra vitamins, just take a spoonful and put it in the tea or put it in a shake or whatever. I know it has a lot of sugar, but that sugar is really not gonna kill you. It's not like we're eating a whole bunch of sugar. So, okay, anyway, back to my story about blackcurrant. Blackcurrant can be used medicinally, not just the berry, but also the leaves right here. These, I just took a little sprig. And I always like to have a bush growing in my garden because I do make tea. I dry them for tea to be used medicinally in the winter. But also I like to use these leaves when I do my canning. So when I ferment my vegetables, cucumbers, any other vegetables, I like to take a leaf or two and I stuff it in the jar where I'm doing my fermentation, because it's so high in tannins that it's gonna give a nice flavor to that vegetable, but also it's gonna give the crispiness to that vegetable, so it doesn't come out all mushy and all like kind of falling apart. It's gonna give that nice crunch. So I always add a little bit of blackcurrant leaves to my fermentation or to my pickling, okay? So, but yes, I will be collecting some of these leaves, especially the young ones. That's the ones I like to collect. And I'm gonna be drying them and making them into a tea, because leaves have just as much of vitamin C as the berries. Isn't that something? I'm not kidding. It's amazing. So when you need extra vitamin C, if you're not feeling well or you feel like something coming on and you feel kind of like, oh my goodness, in my throat, this is your defense system right here, blackcurrant. So blackcurrant tea. Also, I'm going to be preserving my berries to use it in the winter months when it's viruses, colds, whatever else is going around, and we need to protect ourselves. So these berries are high in vitamin C, which we know are great for the immune system, but also they are filled with antioxidants, which are going to be good for us as far as giving us that fighting chance and cleansing our bodies of whatever might be going on. Okay, so I have this book. It's called The Herbal Drugstore by Linda White and Stephen Foster, and they're talking about in this book the benefits of the seeds that are inside these berries, right? So these seeds are gamma linoleic acid, and they are great for inflammation. So again, you would have to eat a lot of them, I guess. And unfortunately, if you try to buy the concentrate of these seeds, a lot of the I shouldn't say pharmaceutical, but a lot of these supplements are highly processed, and so I don't know how good they really are. So I'm not the expert on that, but I do know that if you eat those little berries with seeds, that's really, really good for you. That's why I don't like to juice things. I like to crush them in a smoothie or put them in my baked goods, but I like to keep the seeds intact. Okay, keep those seeds in there. And then there's another book I have. It's an older book, and it's Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine by Andrew Chevalier. I think that's how you pronounce this. Andrew Chevalier, Chevallier. And it was published in, let me look at it real quick. What year was it published? 2016. So it's actually not that old. 2016. And Andrew in his book talks a lot about blackcurrant, and he talks about that the leaves contain flavonoids and tannins, as I mentioned, proanthelines, volatile oils, and those are the antioxidant protective for cardiovascular health, for the blood vessels. So it's been used in the old days for to treat high blood pressure. Also, according to some French researchers, blackcurrant leaves increase the secretion of cortisol by the adrenal glands, and thus stimulate the activity of the sympathetic nervous system. So therefore, it can be used as a tonic, kind of like pick me up, okay, as a tonic. So again, so you guys can see that it's highly used. And also another researcher said that blackcurrant berries and their juice are high in vitamin C and can help improve resistance to infection and make a valuable remedy for treating colds and flu. So when it comes for influenza, you want to keep this berry at hand. Now, if you guys are not growing any blackcurrant, yourself, you can purchase them online or buy them frozen, and I have seen them in the frozen section in supermarkets, in some supermarkets as frozen berries. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do today, okay? I know I don't have much, and I already washed them. I washed them all, and I put them on a paper towel to kind of like just absorb some of the moisture. And now I just need to remove them off these little stems. Okay, so here are my berries, and they're nice and plump. They are not a huge size, they're kind of medium size, but this is perfect. I like them. So this is my method of freezing berries. I take a cookie sheet and I line it with parchment paper, and I'm just gonna drop my berries right on it, and I'm gonna put them in the freezer overnight. These berries have a very, very distinct taste. They slightly tart to taste, but I love it. It brings so many memories back from my childhood. And then what's funny about the leaves is that when you take a leaf and you like smoosh it up a little bit, you break it up and you smell, it also has aroma of the blackcurrant themselves. All right, so all I'm doing, I'm just removing the stems, any kind of little stems that I have. And like I said, it's already been washed. So I rinsed them. I didn't really wash them that heavily. I just rinsed them, okay? Already don't see any moisture on them. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna drop them on this cookie sheet. And I'm gonna freeze them overnight. Then tomorrow morning, when they're gonna be like rock solid frozen, I'm gonna put them in one container, most likely like a Ziploc bag of some sort. Okay, and that's how I'm gonna store them in my freezer. And then whenever I need to take a little bit of them out, I will pull them out and I use them. I was listening to a lecture, and I can't remember now. Oh, it was a while back, but I was listening to a lecture by an herbalist, and he has mentioned that 50 grams of these blackcurrant berries is enough of vitamin C that is required for the day. Isn't that something? It would be fun to grab a scale and just to see how many berries we need. I know this is not much. I wish I had more, but I only have one bush growing. All right, so I'm just gonna continue doing this, and I'm gonna be cleaning them, and I'm gonna put them in my freezer overnight. So friends, I hope you are encouraged to look into local berries that grow around you, okay? Because it's always best to harvest something fresh and preserve them. The best way to preserve a berry is, for long-term storage I'm talking about, is by freezing it, because freezing is when you pick at its ripest and you freeze it immediately, so you're going to store as much of that berry as possible. Cooking it into a jam is, it's a great way. I'm not going to argue, because it makes it shelf stable, but cooking it and the heat, it does destroy some of the medicinal values of it. As I've mentioned before, and you guys can look at that link that I had above, look how to make a just raw jam, making it just with sugar. Okay, and that will preserve a lot of its quality, but it does have a lot of sugar, you're right. But like I said, if you are preserving it by freezing it, that is the best way to preserve it and use it on those cold winter days. So friends, I hope you are encouraged to think of something that you can protect your family during the cold months when our immune system is a little bit under the weather. Okay, so be encouraged and try something new.